This is a first on many levels, but I can say this much. If you want to save yourself in the world of professional college football, you got to get in now. You got to have a place to go now. You got to have a revenue stream now. Otherwise, you're as good as dead. And then I think you can feel free to disagree, but I think there's another shakeout coming in a few years. But you had to get yourself alive and breathing for now. The snake farm. You don't know what I'm talking about? That's a problem. Get out some. The snake farm is about to have a very good 2026. The snake farm, I don't know what traffic is like at the snake farm. I've only been a few times with my kids, but the traffic at the snake farm is going to have a very good few years, I expect. I think traffic is going to increase dramatically. Maybe some new poisonous snakes will be brought in. I don't know what the show is going to be, but they got a big chance at the snake farm. And the reason why I say that is your Bobcats appear to be going to the new Pac-12, 10, whatever it is, which is a whole discussion by itself how weird that is. I know the answer to this. I don't know when the last time I mentioned Texas State on this show, maybe a few months ago, and then maybe that's the first time in 20-something years. When was the last time that Texas State would be among the first 6 or 8 stories on Yahoo? Actually, among the first 4 stories on Yahoo. And not one mention of the snake farm. I got to get a sponsorship going. Maybe a patch on the uniform. Something like that. That'd be cool. Well, they made it today. They made it. And they appear to be joining a league with a TV deal. So you have life. That's the only way to have life in that sport now, which doesn't know where it's going, how long it's going to be there. You just have to scramble for a platform deal to be in a league so you can have enough money to survive the next 3 to 5 years. They apparently, if Yahoo is right, they've pulled that off. Where's that patch for the snake farm go? Maybe like a sticker on the helmet or something like that. You got it. That sponsorship needs to happen soon. Here's why I bring it up. And then we've got a whole other set of issues. What's next? But for now, they have found a way to stay alive, very much alive. According to Yahoo Sports, the new Pac-12 has found its primary media partner now to finalize the next member school. Now remember, this is not your dad's Pac-12 or Pac-10. The reason why the Pac-10 or Pac-12, which I think Texas should have been in instead of the SEC, there's very easy media arguments to make there. But when Texas bolted for the SEC, everyone panicked. And so the next thing you know, you have Washington playing Rutgers in volleyball in the middle of the week and stuff like that makes no sense whatsoever. So the Pac-12 was left to die. And they've been trying to figure out a way to stay alive, and they've put together a few schools and put together a media deal, and they need one more. They need one more member. You might as well add the Central Texas coast. The snake farm is in. So Texas State, reportedly, Yahoo now says, is on its way to the Pac-12. The league is extending its deal with CBS Sports through 2030 as the anchor media platform of the new conference, paving the way for the next phase of the Pac-12's rebirth, expansion. Conference officials have engaged in conversations with executives, I don't know what that means exactly, at Texas State. The two parties worked toward a membership agreement that would start in the fall of 2026. See, that's why the snake farm needs to get more parking spaces, maybe an awning or something out front there, maybe like a kid's petting zoo right in the front. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to do in a short amount of time. The addition of Texas State, a Sun Belt school in San Marcos, Yahoo reports, would give the Pac-12 a necessary 8 full football-playing members. That's requirement to be in the FBS. You want to pick them to be in the playoffs soon? Is that right? The Pac-12 added 5 programs: San Diego State, Boise State, Colorado State, Fresno State, and Utah State, then added Gonzaga as well. CBS will anchor the league's multi-platform media package, blah, blah, blah. So you got to pay $5 million to get out of the Sun Belt Conference, but you have to do that by July 1. And then if you don't do it by July 1, then the price goes up to get out. That's why this story is breaking when it is. They have to get out. They need to get that invitation. They need to bolt soon so they can write the check and move on. It's life. I mean, it's no more complicated than that. Otherwise, you stay in the Sun Belt Conference. You've got 2 or 3 years, maybe in the landscape of college sports, to barely stay alive. So if the report is accurate and it makes some sense, then they would be on their way. As part of the CBS package, the network will broadcast the league's football championship game and the men's basketball tournament championship game, as well as at least 3 regular season football and men's basketball games on CBS and Paramount Plus. More regular season games are expected on CBS Sports Network. How much they're paying out, I don't know yet, but it's a lot more than the Sun Belt Conference. So because of where they are is the reason I think this deal happened. Because they've remained somewhat competitive is the reason why this deal happened. Everything, every dot they've connected to try to make the move to just keep working their way up the board of big-time college sports has worked out. I mean, this is it. I mean, if it looked and sounded crazy the last several years as they kept spending more and expanding more and trying to be more competitive, it looked kind of crazy, but it's paid off. They get this deal in the Pac-12, it's paid off. You'll make money. You'll have a TV deal till 2030, and then there's the next shakeout. If not before then. I think these leagues have got to start combining sooner rather than later. But Texas State gave themselves a lifeline. They can now make some money. They can now make some noise. And if they do, the next shakeout, when there's only 4, maybe 2 to 4 conferences, then you've got life. It could be the Big 12 joining up with the Pac-12. It could be any combination of those. But the next go-around, once you survive this first period where you have to get into a league and you have to get a media deal, the next go-around is going to be a shakeout to who are the 48 that are going to be left in football. Approximately 48, maybe less. But to get to that chance, you had to do this. It's pretty impressive. I don't think many people saw this coming. Apparently they did. You can thank I-35 for all of this. So you have to have a good run. Now the burden on them is once get in, then you have to have a good run. You have to be competitive. The demographics have to work. You're sitting in, they've got the advantage, right? Sitting in San Antonio and Austin. And so they got that on their side. They got they think a big TV market on their side. But then you have to play well because you have to be ready for the next shakeout so you're not left behind. And I think there's going to be several more that give up along the way. But when was the last time? I mean, think about that. They've never been mentioned in the top news stories, top sports stories of practically any day. Certainly not on a national level. And if somebody said to you 3 years ago, the Pac-12 needed to find one more program. They needed to add one more program to be viable. They had to make CBS happy with one more program. I'm pretty certain most of you would not have said, oh, yeah, I got an idea. The snake farm in Texas State. They did it. They did it. So then you just do well enough. Nobody's saying they have to go out and win the league, but they've been competitive. They've been really good. They took Arizona State to the mat a year ago. Now they just need to play well, be middle of the pack or better, bust out a couple of years, and then they got to position themselves. They got to draw well enough, have to have good enough TV ratings for that next big shakeout of 48. That's what the whole landscape is going to do. It's like, you get these deals now. So when you're chasing the next 48 that are alive and well in college sports, you've got a few years, you got a runway to produce. And producing means, number one, you got to get some ratings. People have to want to watch them play. And I don't know if that's going to happen or not. The bet by CBS is you sit in these 2 big markets, surely you can pull off some numbers. So number one, they have to draw. Not just people showing up at a stadium, not just people making a tour of the snake farm. They have to watch on TV. And then they have to be competitive enough to justify the next shakeout to 48 when it happens 4, 5, 6 years from now. Maybe longer, but probably not. Is Texas caused all of this? Has Texas caused the panic throughout college sports? Texas State is like now the guinea pig on how a mid-level program can keep making jumps, and then they're going to be the guinea pig on if you can make that jump to the final 48. Are you good enough to survive the last cut down to 48 that is probably the sport of professional college football for the rest of our lives? That's where this whole thing is going. You can see it. But man, what a move. I mean, what a surprising, weird turn of events. All that groundwork. Trying to build a bigger stadium, trying to find good coaches, trying to recruit like crazy. It paid off for them. They can now pay their bills. They got that lifeline. They now got a real chance. Then imagine if they do make some noise in that league, and then when you make some noise in that league, the next shakeout, when there's 48, you're really wealthy. Okay, get the patch. Snake Farm patch. I don't know if they'll pay enough to be right there, like maybe on the top of the shoulder pads, maybe a small Snake Farm patch on the top of the shoulder pads.